before I start the video, I want you to think about what kind of Christians that you don't want to be. Recently, I experienced some uncomfortable moments when I was in church. So I started to ask myself a real question. What kind of Christians do I not want to become? I want to make sure that I'm not going to become that person. And because of that, I began actively recording and writing down the moments where I felt hurt, pressured, or dismissed in the church environments. I have to say, this video is not for accusing anyone. The reason why I'm recording this video is mainly a reminder to myself and also an invitation to you to reflect with me together. So let's get started. So I think the first type of Christians that I don't want to become is the boundaries invader. Someone who doesn't care about boundaries of themselves and the others. That feelings of the boundaries being invaded. Let's picture this. Imagine that you're on a beach. You're laying down, relaxing, and enjoying the sun. And then suddenly, a stranger came up, started rubbing sunscreen at your back without asking. What would you feel? I can't accept. No. You would probably feel shocked and physically offended, right? Even that person said, I'm doing this because I care about you. That feeling, when someone helps you without asking, is what it feels like when the boundary got invaded. I noticed that people do something similar in church, not with sunscreen, but with words, labels, spiritual opinions, advices. How many of you have forced someone to know about Jesus without even asking them, knowing them, spending time with them first? It's like feeding someone with a spoon of food when other people doesn't want it. Okay, story time. I remember there was a season where I was so rejoicing in the Lord. It was shortly after my baptism. I was deeply attracted to His presence and His words, and I felt eager to tell everyone about Jesus. I was fearlessly, boldly sharing the gospel to everyone I know, my neighbors, strangers, my family, everyone. I like to sing worship song on the street where everyone was looking at me. Even when everyone was looking at me, I didn't care. I even invite them to sing together. I could feel the presence of God and I was so passionate. Then I started hearing some people tell me that my relationship with Jesus was just in the honeymoon stage. They said to me that there will be season when God becomes silent, and there will be very difficult lessons waiting for me later. Maybe those things will happen to some people. It could probably happen to me as well. But what actually bothers me was when people talk like they already know the future of my relationship with God, and they use other people's example to define mine. I get it, but I don't want anybody to define my relationship with God or to tell me what my faith story is supposed to look like. I want to discover it by myself with God, because everyone's encounter with Jesus is different. Like when we read the Bible, we see every disciples encountered Jesus differently. Like Peter experienced Jesus in a bold way. John encountered Jesus in a curiosity way, recognitions, closeness. I think the Apostle John represented disciples who experienced Jesus through intimacy and companionship. And Peter's encounter with Jesus was dramatic and overwhelming. It's the same Jesus, but different encounters. And I think we should respect that. Sometimes we Christians summarize everything too quickly and give people what we think we need. A lot of time we eager to do that even without asking questions and building trust first. A lot of time, people simply do need the space, their own personal space, to seek God, experience God, and enjoy God themselves. So please do not put your prescription glasses on other people's eyes. Respecting boundaries can simply demonstrate it by asking the question whether he or she wants to hear that, wants to accept that first. And then we also need to listen, because without listening, trust cannot be built and love cannot grow. Okay, that was for how to respect other people's boundaries. And how about boundaries for ourselves? So we need to have our boundaries and we need to know our boundaries. Because if you don't have and you don't know your own boundaries, what are you going to protect? The physical boundary, spiritual boundary, and independent boundaries. Number 1, physical boundaries. Physical boundaries matter so much in church, and yet not a lot of people talk about it. I don't know why. Especially between brothers and sisters. Like whether a hug feels innocent or a handshake or fist bumps is better. There was a brother who is very social and energetic at church. He likes to greet people with big brother hug, like that one. When it came to me, I felt uncomfortable because I didn't know that person so well. But you know, sometimes in a public setting, instead of rejecting it, because it would be so embarrassing for him, so I froze instead. I hasn't been trained to respond to a situation like that, so I froze. And after 1 or 2 times, I start to realize that not for me. It's not for me. I know that don't make me feel comfortable, and it was not okay. So I set a simple boundary to myself. I noticed that I need to set a boundary. I would write that down on paper and I stick it to the wall just to remind myself. No hugs with brothers in church. If it's happened again, I had rehearsal in my mind. I would step back and offer a handshake instead. That was one of the clear communications of boundary. Second, spiritual boundary. A spiritual boundary is the ability to protect your faith, conviction, conscience, and your relationship with God from being controlled, pressured, or defined by other people. Spiritual boundary is like protections from abandon what you believe just to fit into other people's ways of thinking. I learned this from a hard way. There was a person who I used to care about a lot, and that someone I used to care about a lot doubted my intentions to making these face-based videos. He judged me based on what I wore in the videos and assumed I was trying to just attract people's attention. Well, because I care about his opinion, I was trying hard to explain to him. And so I shared the most sacred details about my journey with God. I told him everything of how God convicted me to do this. I told him everything from the beginning to the end. To me, those secret stories, details with God, they were so beautiful and sacred. But I forgot to look at his soul. He had already made the decision to judge me. And the most painful part was that it affected my heart toward God. I started doubting myself and doubting God. I started to feel ashamed because I knew that I was not doing good enough on the videos that I'm making, and I felt shameful on the videos that I post. And that's when I learned Perhaps not everyone deserves to access to the most sacred parts of your testimony. Do not give what is holy to the dogs, and do not cast your pearls to the pigs, lest they trample them under their feet, and they turn and tear you in pieces. So I think what I've learned is, if you're staying in a conversation where it requires you to ignore your own feeling, pretend to agree, or you feel like you have to prove a point with a sense of being put in a court for judgment, that is a moment for you to set a spiritual boundary. And I think the most powerful way to set spiritual boundary is to just be still and not going to explain all the things. Okay, the third boundary I want to talk about is intellectual boundaries, or I want to call it independent boundaries, because it happens usually in a group setting. Recently, I have shared a personal perspective in a group. I shared to the group, I discovered there are A, B, C, D in life. And everyone responded to me like they never heard about this before. Like they only see there were A, B, C in life. And at the end, they started to give me advices like my perspective was too complicated or too much. But for me personally, like it was exciting for me because I gained more clarity in my life, and what I discovered was making perfect sense to me. But I noticed something in myself. Instead of calmly standing by what I believed, I just said, yeah, you're right. Even though inside I saw it differently. I just softened my thoughts and my opinion to keep the atmosphere comfortable. When I got home, something didn't feel right, because the real issue isn't the disagreement. The real issue was I decided to abandon my own voice in a group. I thought softened my response to the group will gain peace for everybody. In exchange, I could at least gain peace. But then I realized peace doesn't come from always agreeing. Sometimes real peace comes from being comfortable of being authentic in a group. I don't have to stand up and throw an argument or debate. I can say something peacefully, but also keeping my authenticity. For example, saying something like, I understand your perspective and thank you so much for sharing, but this is still how I see it and it makes sense to me. Maybe it's not that hard. I'm just assuming that if I say something like this, and other people will feel awkward. I'm just afraid of awkwardness in group, and perhaps fear of other people's judgment. I understand people, including myself, have clear errors. We make mistakes. When one of us made a clear mistakes, we want to point it out for the goods of the others. And I think the difference between a healthy group and an unhealthy group is the attitude. A healthy church group points people back to scriptures, welcome questions, reflection for mistakes, and a lot of understanding and support for openness. An unhealthy church group demands agreement, shut down doubts and questions, and treat only one specific interpretation like an authority. A lot of us likes the feeling of being a teacher to have an impact to another person's life. So I want to remind myself, and perhaps you, there is only one Rabbi, Jesus Christ. You do not be called Rabbi, for one is your teacher, the Christ, and the people around you in church, they are all brothers. They are brothers and sisters. Make sure you know that you're the reflector of light. What you're doing right now is meant to guide and direct people to Christ, not guiding and directing people to you. So be respectful on other people's independence boundary. respect the other person's identity as a person in the group. We gotta protect our own intellectual boundary, the boundaries that protecting you to think independently in a group setting. Okay, to be honest, I wasn't trained to respond properly in many moments where boundaries should have been clearer. My boundaries and other people's boundaries. What happened when physical boundaries were not respected or being unclear? That's when a lot of sexual assaults, a lot of unclear relationships happened. It can destroy someone's life. And what happened when spiritual boundaries were not known or not respected? It would definitely impact someone's faith journey with the Lord. We don't want something like that happen. Like me personally, it took me a long time for me to build back an intimate relationship with the Lord. And it took me a lot of efforts to rebuild the confidence of picking up the cameras and speaking in front of a camera again for making these videos. It could affect someone's relationships with God. This is the most painful part. What happens if people in the church don't care about intellectual boundaries or independence boundary? It will make people feel like the group environment is suffocated. Like you're not allowed to express your own true feeling. You're not allowed to be authentic. You're not welcome to raise your hands and ask questions when you have doubts, when you have questions, when you have a different voice, when you have a different opinions. How can you build trust? Well, how can you form true bonding in groups? If a group atmosphere is suffocated and it's very difficult for everybody to be opened, how can the Holy Spirit speak? How can God reveal truth in a group? When we're not accepting each other's, how can we love each other truly? Love one another. That is a commandment from Jesus. I want people to accept me as who I am really is. Jesus already accepts you and me. He accepts who we really are, the authentic self. And of course, we want other people to respect our boundaries so we can feel safe. So in this video, I want to remind myself and whoever is watching my video right now, don't forget Luke 6:31. And just as you want other people to do to you, you also do to them likewise. What kind of Christian I don't want to be? The one who doesn't care about boundaries is the first one on my list. And the second one on my list is the show-like performer. And the third one is becoming lukewarm. And for the show-like performer and the lukewarm Christians, I will share more about details in my next video. I'm gonna make sure that I'm not gonna become one of this on my list. And I wanna invite you to hold me accountable. If I ever become this kind of Christian, please let me know. So that's all for today. I hope that this video can give you a little bit more clarity about respecting others people's boundary and knowing and setting your own boundary. May peace be with you always, even in the storm.